The lyrics describe my sister's last moments perfectly. Names, dates, everything. But the case was sealed. Until this TikTok.
Victim's brother, 2024. Autumn in Pikeview, 2023. The kind of town where people still wave to passing cars, where the hardware store sees more visitors than the gas station, and every tragedy feels personal. Pikeview's scars, though mostly out of sight, never really heal. And at the heart of one wound is the sudden, unresolved disappearance of 19-year-old Leah Foster. Leah was the kind of person you'd notice, not for flashiness, but for the contagious way she grinned, the low, easy melody in her laugh. She worked part-time in the floral section of the local supermarket and played guitar with a small group at a battered community center stage. Friends remember her walking to open mic nights, a sunflower tucked in her hair. Notebook always in the left jacket pocket. That sunflower slipped from memory quickly after April 2017. Leah failed to come home from rehearsal. At first it was a ripple of unease. A few texts, then missed calls, a worried late-night drive. Then, it was a page in the paper. Pikeview woman missing. Police appeal for information. What followed was the slow freeze. Searches by flashlight, prayer vigils on the school steps, posters disintegrating in the spring rain. The search became ritual, inhabiting the lives of Leah's family with the gravity of a new moon. Her younger brother Jamie sometimes walked the same roads Leah took before, imagining each footfall measured against her last steps. "We grew up with this idea that bad things didn't happen here," he remembers. "We learned otherwise." As weeks became months, the local police files on Leah's case thickened with tips and interviews, but thinned with hope. No sign of Leah, not even her guitar. The story faded, living on mostly in brief community mentions. A song left unresolved, a case gone cold. Then, 6 years later, on a Monday in May 2023, Jamie got the strangest message he had ever received. He remembers the glow of his phone at midnight, the notification from a friend. "Have you seen this TikTok? Skip to 2:20. Listen." The video had 3 million views. Jamie pressed play, breath held. The TikTok was by an account named @seller.door.music, a username that meant nothing to him. Filmed in a softly lit bedroom, a young woman sat cross-legged with an acoustic guitar. Her voice was high, almost haunted. She sang, "You turned onto Miller Parkway, left your book on the dash." April 12, 2017. A sunflower fell from your jacket to the broken glass. Jamie messaged the account, hands shaking. Not with hope, but indignation. How could someone write, in intimate, painful detail, about Leah's last known night? He wasn't the only one. Over the next 48 hours, the video went viral. Comments flooded in. True crime song or real story? Is this about Leah Foster from Pikeview? Those are her details. Who are you? The account's owner, an aspiring songwriter in her early 20s named Cara Morales, posted a follow-up. Cara seemed stunned. "I wrote the song from a dream," she explained. "I never met Leah. Didn't even know about her until people started tagging the name. I woke up with the chords and words in my head and wrote it all down in one night." But the lyrics continued. Red notebook, sunflower, Miller Parkway. A promise folded in a coat, a secret too heavy for spring rain. She looked back once, then was gone. The specifics, Miller Parkway, sunflower, April 12th, and the red notebook, had never appeared in public news reports. The more Jamie watched, the more certain he became. Either Kara was plagiarizing from a source no family member knew, or something stranger was happening. Detective Harris, lead on the original investigation, was skeptical when Jamie arrived with his phone. "People write weird stuff about cold cases all the time," Harris warned. "But you're right. These details, some are only in police files." He agreed to meet Kara. The meeting was tense. Kara seemed nervous but consistent, recounting a recurring dream in which she wandered a wooded road, heard a girl playing guitar, saw a torn-open notebook with a name inside, Leah Foster, and heard snippets of conversation. "She was waiting for someone," Kara said. "A black sedan pulled up. There was music, but it was wrong, discordant. The song ended abruptly." Kara signed an affidavit about the dream's details. Official police logs confirmed certain facts. Leah had indeed been seen entering a dark sedan by Miller Parkway, and a sunflower, the afterthought of her night, was found on the passenger seat. The missing red notebook was not included in the original media releases. For the first time in years, Leah's parents met in their kitchen to talk openly. Her mother, Ruth, stared at the kitchen wall. "It feels like losing her all over again," she said, voice thin as tissue. "We survived years with no answers. Does it hurt more to hope?" Detective Harris reopened the file, this time cross-referencing Kara's account and sifting through details. Kara agreed to hypnosis, hoping to reconstruct the dream. Under gentle guidance, she spoke of the smell of rain, the music inside the car, the crack in the windshield. Handwriting experts examined the lyrics and the original case file. The phrase, "promise folded in a coat," matched Leah's private journal entry. Never published. Never shared before. Social media ran wild. Podcasts speculated everything from spiritual possession to unconscious memory transmission. But for authorities, the focus narrowed. Who else might have known these facts? Was a former suspect sending anonymous tips, or did someone leak details? By late May, police reviewed old suspects with musical ties, former open mic attendees, bandmates, even a substitute guitar teacher. Interviews revealed a pattern. Several remembered a quiet man, Ben, who showed a morbid interest in Leah's writing. He'd been dismissed at the time, alibied by a friend, but now, with new scrutiny, inconsistencies emerged. The friend, re-interviewed, admitted fabricating his story. "He asked me to say we were together all night," he confessed. "I lied because I thought he just wanted an alibi for something dumb, not this." Police searched local forums, chat logs, and even song lyric repositories. Kara was repeatedly cleared. Her communications with anyone in Pikeview were non-existent. But the forensic tech found something startling. An old chat room, defunct since 2017, where Ben_Jammin posted cryptic lyrics matching both Leah's journal and those that inspired Kara's dream song. One post, dated the day after Leah vanished, read, "Sometimes a sunflower falls, and nobody's to blame." On June 5th, law enforcement got a tip from a TikTok viewer. In the background of Kara's video, a vintage sticker was visible on the wall, advertising an open mic night in Pikeview, 2017. Kara, embarrassed, explained. The poster was given to her by her late stepfather before he died. Police traced the connection and learned he'd once lived in Pikeview, renting a room on Minister Parkway, in 2017. Media descended as the investigation's wild cross of dream, song, and painstaking police log generated national headlines. TikTok dream leads to cold case break. Coincidence or something else? screamed one feed. The Fosters endured renewed attention. Calls, letters, strangers digging for their own closure. Still, beneath the media frenzy and speculation, police worked quietly. DNA testing of the old sedan's seat, collected in 2017, never matched, finally yielded a result. It wasn't Leah's. It belonged to the late stepfather, whose involvement with local musicians and proximity to Leah's circle brought the focus full circle. The police contacted Kara, asking for a deeper look into her late stepfather's connections. His name was Dan Wynn, once a traveling sound engineer for small-town bands. Dan had moved to Pikeview precisely 6 months before Leah vanished and left town 2 weeks later. He'd kept a collection of concert posters, cassette tapes, and, most chillingly, a set of journals. Among them, investigators found a familiar sight. Leah's missing red notebook, its first half filled with her handwriting, the rest with strange, dark musings in a different hand, Dan's. DNA and handwriting analysis confirmed what the detective now dreaded. Dan Wynn had been in the sedan that night. The passages he wrote revealed a tormented fascination with Leah and, ultimately, a guilty confession. Written in a stylized, near-poetic script. I watched her sing, promising the world would love her words. Someone had to keep the promise. I folded it up inside, but the rain washed her away from me. Police now believe that Dan, estranged, unseen, yet always on the scene's periphery, offered Leah a late ride, then confronted her about her lyrics, which he claimed told too much. Something happened in that car. A fight, then violence. The notebook, sunflower, and subsequent clues were all tokens of his twisted remorse. Kara, unaware of any of this, became an unwitting channel. Her song, drawn from subconscious fragments, stories overheard, the constant presence of Dan's mementos, maybe even whispered pain in her sleep. In interviews, she broke down. I thought it was just a song. Was I haunted? She wept. For the Fosters, the news was shattering, but brought a strange, heavy calm. Leah, they finally learned, had fought for herself. Her story had not disappeared. The new evidence, though indirect, was enough for the state to close the case. The family chose not to pursue civil action against Kara or her family. Instead, they asked that Leah's music be archived, her voice remembered not as victim but as a creator. Detective Harris held a press conference. Would we have reopened the file without the TikTok? Maybe. Would we have solved it without a song? Doubtful, he admitted. Sometimes the dead leave behind more than evidence. They leave echoes waiting to be heard. The town of Pikeview healed unevenly. For Leah's family, closure arrived as a bittersweet melody, one that never resolved, but no longer hung on silence. Kara, after public scrutiny and counseling, returned to school. Her song stopped trending, but it left its mark. An annual benefit concert in Leah's memory, raising money for victims' families and trauma education. Dan Wynn's story faded into legal archives. There would be no trial, only inquest, the evidence too circumstantial for a living perpetrator, but overwhelming for the record books. Police revised their investigative manual. Always take the strangest tips seriously. Today, the notebook sits in Pikeview's small museum. And in every strange, dark, and profoundly human case, a question lingers. Don't forget to subscribe to Real Mystery Reports for more strange, dark, and profoundly human stories. New true mysteries every day.